All right. So today,
Yes.
in working with the LLM, I have a new concept.
Yeah, you were talking about feature owners,
Right.
which are people, right?
No, but they're actors. They're actors. Okay. So actors could be an agent or a person,
Oh, okay.
right? And
Let's talk about the concept of a feature owner first, because I'm familiar with product owners.
Yes. Let me give you the motivating example.
Okay.
I have a thing that with every feature request, there's the invisible requirement and everything else still works.
Yeah.
And this is the hardest requirement, and it's the requirement that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, even though it's still invisible, as your app gets bigger, as everything else is a wider category.
It's like the dark matter of software.
Yeah, the feature interactions. Okay, concrete example. I've got my little MTG deck shuffler app. There's cards. Almost all Magic cards have the same back and then a face with stuff on them. But there's a few that have two meaningful faces. They have like transform this card under certain circumstances. So those are complicated. And early in the app development, I was like, oh crap, I need to handle two-faced cards, and added flip card features. Okay. Many times since then, I've gone to add a feature and missed supporting two-faced cards.
Okay.
Concrete example, I needed to add card type, color identity, mana cost, some properties of each card. I wanted to record those, not just what's its name, where's its image. So I wanted to record those, and I missed two-faced cards. So in real life, what I've kind of always wanted on my team is every feature we implement has a feature owner. In the past, it would have been a person. So an actor who understands this feature, who looks at every new incoming feature and says, does this interact with my feature? Make sure that's supported. So that person has the knowledge of where this feature came from, what it's for, everywhere it's currently implemented in the app, and the other things that it interacts with. They have that knowledge base. Their job is defined by what they know, not by what they do. I think that's a lot of knowledge work. Okay, so the feature owner's job, in this case, I created one. Your job is to handle two-faced cards and the flip feature.
Okay. So, and when you say you created one?
Good question. Of course, I created by asking the AI to create it. So I'm asking an AI agent, which is an actor, to create me another actor.
Okay.
With the knowledge base that I need.
Okay.
And whose job is to review feature plans for interactions, and then later come back and test and make sure that the flip features still work.
Okay. Now, so far, what you described so far, that much sounds like just a secondary prompt, like a prompt that you can summon up when you need to. So what makes it a feature owner?
What makes it a feature owner is there's a prompt. So that's its job description. You're a feature owner. This is what you do.
Okay.
And its knowledge base, what it knows. So it has a directory in the repo. It owns a directory.
It owns a directory, okay.
Where it can store its knowledge about the feature so far.
Markdown files?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So these two things kind of make the actor, and then the actor can't help until it's invoked.
Right. That's the thing. How does it become that person on the team who's like, wait a minute, how's this going to impact two-faced cards in your planning meeting?
Yes. And what about after you flip the card? Does it still work? Yes, exactly. So what we need to do is get that person in the planning meeting, that actor, in the planning meeting. And that winds up, I just asked Claude how to do this, and Claude did it, and it worked. That winds up in the agent.md or Claude.md with its process for implementing features. There's the plan step.
Okay.
And the plan step includes invoking all the feature owners. So the flipped card features, the library grouping features, all the ones that I've created so far.
So when you're interacting with an agent as you're developing, what I'm gathering is you're primarily interacting with kind of a project manager or a team manager process.
Yeah.
That has that as part of its prompt has a process of like delegate to this sub prompt or sub agent and then this sub agent.
We have to do more and more of these days, right? So that the main agent that we're interacting with, it doesn't get its context too full of details.
Right.
Right. At an extreme, there's stuff like Claude Teams, which is incredibly high overhead. But it actively spins up a bunch of agent actors and keeps them open. The feature owner that I have is simpler. It's a call and response. It's a, hey, here's the plan. Do you see any interactions we should worry about? Invoke the actor with its system prompt. And then the system prompt includes, here's your knowledge base. Mm-hmm. And then the invocation of that actor has 2 outputs. Mm-hmm. Just like any function, just like us.
Okay.
There's what it returned, and there's the side effect of who it becomes.
Right.
So who it becomes is it's updated its knowledge base so that the next time that actor is invoked, it has different knowledge.
Okay.
And then there's the output of actually watch out for this. Mm-hmm. Make sure you do this.
Okay.
Make sure you store the card type and the mana value and stuff for the back face of the card. Okay.
That's interesting. And then that is somehow carried forward into whatever like design, detailed design sub-agent you have?
Yeah, whatever agent, it might be the main agent, is doing the planning, gets this information back and incorporates it into the plan.
Okay.
And proceeds.
So in a sense, I mean, from my perspective, it's like, just like it would invoke a suite of tests, or just like it would invoke a linting tool, it also invokes sub-agents and sees what output they have.
And it can lint to the planning phase.
So yeah, it's kind of plan lint in a way. I mean, it's not a predefined set of rules that don't change in the way most linting tools are, but it's still like, it's still invoking it kind of in the same sense as it would a linting tool.
Yes. It's a don't forget. And the effect of this is that the everything else that still works in the code base is divided up into little modules of knowledge. And there's steps, a growing list of steps as our feature base grows, of does it affect this? Does it affect this? And the effect of that is that instead of having to understand everything all at once, we understand it in various pieces. And then all that knowledge comes together in the main agent, who's the project lead for this new feature or whatever. And then at the end of that new feature implementation, you create a feature owner. Like, okay, project lead, encapsulate what you know into this new knowledge base and write yourself a feature owner instructions so that next time you are in charge of making sure your feature still works.
Yeah, and then I guess eventually you kind of have to maybe factor out the job of notifying all the feature owners.
Maybe.
My biggest, the thing that I observe over and over again is that the further back something is in the list of things to do, the more it falls off the brain of LLMs. I was hearing it's part of the list of things to do, and it might be the same agent that does the implementation. And my experience is that, like, if you have something doing implementation, it's going to forget about whatever.
The agent that's doing the planning.
Yeah.
The agent that's doing the planning for the new feature.
Because they really are. They get very focused, and they lose things.
Right, but part of the team's concept is don't do the implementation in the agent that's doing the planning. Farm that off to a developer actor.
So much of what we do, I feel like, when we are working more with agents, is we are managing their attention.
Absolutely. Just like we do with ourselves.
Yeah.
But the fun part is, I've often wished in the past that I could fork myself and do multiple things. And with with agents, we absolutely can. So this part of myself that knows about the project, that the feature that was just implemented, fork it off into a feature owner. Come back to that one later. We have many units of attention now. And so we can chunk or delegate. We have to delegate the knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't have the on teams, we can't just keep people around forever just to know a thing really well. And in agents, we absolutely can.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if you run into like a new, cumulative snowball effect where...
Get to the new failure modes as fast as we can. That's the game.
Yeah. I'm already imagining that if I were writing the prompts for these things, I would have to be very adamant about like, unless you see a clear interaction, just say no problem and be done. Because I can totally see them each one deciding to pontificate about its own particular area of expertise and all the possible implications that the new, no.
Right,
Shush,
right. We
shush.
have to have agents that want to go back
To sleep.
to sorting their magic cards. Yeah.
Yeah.